Hey guys, I often show up pretty real time on this podcast, meaning that I usually record and release these episodes within about 2 weeks of each other. This time I am like T minus 12 hours, maybe even less, okay, between recording and releasing. And it's because of this tricky little barrier that I have lost all momentum and I'm desperately like clawing to get back into the groove. So if you have had goals, if you have had things to do and you were making progress on them, but now you're just not, but you want to start back up again, well, come ride in and through this struggle with me because we're going to get to the other side of this dead zone together. I felt like I was crushing things. Like I had just been super intentional with my social media launch, and I'd been promoting the heck out of my signature offer to coach 10 folks through starting their purpose driven businesses by summer. I was having conversations, I was signing clients, I was posting daily, I was keeping up with my weekly podcasts. And finally, like in this incredible flow of momentum and feeling actually like ready and equipped and capable to add the next thing to my plate to keep growing this thing. And freaking then, mm, life happened as it often does. And I straight up broke my ankle, my right driving ankle, of course. So if you haven't listened to the podcast, it was released prior to this one. And I actually think it's an entertaining story and would highly recommend just listening in for some laughs and to hear about my total breakdown in the ice bath after the incident. So there's that. So life happens. And now I've got this bum ankle, but not only that, I've got a big event to attend in Dallas. And then less than 24 hours after returning home from said event, the family had a Mexico vacation planned. So the sob story here, okay, is that my ankle breaking, as you could imagine, threw a total wrench in my momentum. And now here I sit recording this episode like it is the toughest thing I've ever had to do, which it absolutely is not. But why is that? Why is it that when we have our routines, and maybe it's that you were crushing that workout routine that you started at the beginning of the year, or maybe you finally started doing the gratitude journal for like, and you did it for like 30 days straight. And then something comes up that knocks us off of our momentum game, that momentum, that vibe, that groove. And then we're sitting there and for the life of us, we can't seem to start it back up again. Like, what the heck? That's what I'm juggling here with you today. For me, I think about all the things that I know are good for me or my business, even like a good health, like fitness routine, or journaling regularly, or sticking to a balanced work schedule. So if I know these things, then why does starting it back up again feel like this ginormous barrier, even just to get to the starting line? I know for me too, like this is not the first time I felt this. It's and when I've worked through this previously, I think it's just like this feeling of feeling behind. So not only do I have to start my stuff back up again, but now I feel like I actually have to play catch up before I can even get back to ground zero. And that just flat out stinks. And that alone absolutely creates these like additional feelings of heaviness and demotivation. I don't even know if that's a word, demotivation. And it's going to be, it just feels like it's going to be so hard just to get like to the actual starting point. And I think about when I felt this way before. So it was, for me, it was actually about a fitness routine, or I guess at this point, a lack thereof. I hit things so hard. I lost a whole bunch of weight. I felt so dang good in my own skin. And then I told myself that I deserved a break. It was around the holidays. So I stopped like the daily intentional movement. And you want to know what happened? I bet you can guess. I gained like 25 plus pounds, and I haven't actually had a routine that I love for, I think it's been about 2 years. Like, what the heck? And I know that part of it is that I already feel so defeated before even starting. Like, okay, I already had to do it once, and now I'm back to where I started. And that's like, why? And now here I am seeing those exact same like feeling patterns, thought patterns with this podcast episode release. Like I feel defeated is the word, that I haven't released an episode in 2 weeks, and my mind kind of swirls and goes back and forth between giving myself grace that life happens and trying to also get into the perspective that it's not about like, okay, what I didn't do, I didn't release 2 episodes, but it's more about like how I choose to get back in the game. And even still, like knowing those things, it just feels so tough. So we know what's good for us. We know we want better health. We know we want better business activities. Like we know the flow, all the things. And yet so often I see folks, including myself, stop altogether rather than just take one small step forward. So it's just like where I'm at right now. I stopped my fitness routine. I stopped doing the podcast again until, okay, I was reminded of a perspective that's changed my life once, which means, right? Like history, if history repeats itself, which means that this perspective could change my life again. And that's what I wanted to share on the podcast. I wanted to share it for myself too. It's this feeling of being behind, this sensation of being defeated is my brain's way of basically trying to convince me that I've failed. So fear of failure, it haunts us all consciously and subconsciously. And if we're being really, 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 really honest, our brains are like constantly aware of, and it kind of feels like sometimes they're on the lookout for ways not to fail, which, right? All of these things, it's such a mind game. It's not even fair. Which, if you're so focused on not failing, well, the thing that you're focusing on inherently, it often becomes the thing that you actually do. Pew, mind blown. I know. So follow me here. Okay. What if it wasn't that this stop of the routine was failure, but instead it was just a pause? It was probably an unintended gap in progress, but it was just a pause on the path. And that's that. A pause, which means that the starting line is indeed still way in the past and in the dust where you left it the day that you already made the decision that you were going to start something. And the finish line, if this thing that you want is something like a fitness routine, like a like a healthy lifestyle, or if it has something to do with like personal growth or just showing up for yourself and the commitments that you made to yourself, well, then there actually is no finish line. It's an ongoing journey anyway. So the finish line hasn't gotten further away by any means. It hasn't moved on you. What feels like stopped momentum, and the narrative I know that I've been choosing over the last 2 weeks, could it also be just a small pause that life required for you to be able to pick back up again when you are ready? Because if I allow my brain to reframe that I simply pressed pause on these things for 2 weeks, for my episodes, or heck, if I would even allow myself to go there for, I pressed pause for 2 years on my fitness routine, then choosing to unpause something, it's like something that was already in motion so that it can remain in motion, that feels more doable. I don't know. What do you think? Maybe it's not that Like maybe it's not that we failed because we stopped or that we failed because we didn't do this or we didn't do that. Maybe all just like we're all just a constant work in progress. So a human being in motion and what once got paused can easily be unpaused again, right? I could believe that. I choose that. And even as like this is all coming out in this very moment, I can feel it all sitting very differently in my body than when I started this recording several minutes ago. So, okay, thank gosh. All right. All right. We can do this. We can pick up new perspectives along the way. Absolutely. Because I think at the end of the day, right, no one ever intends on starting a routine and not seeing it through. So, if we go back to our intention to see those goals through, then we didn't stop. We didn't go backwards. We're not defeated. We just paused. And now we're pressing play again, proceeding with purpose and getting back into the groove. Yeah, I think that feels good. That feels good. I just had a pause. And look at me. See, recording this and I am pressing play again. And if I can, you can too. So whatever that thing is that you started it for a reason. And you most likely didn't ask for the pause, but for whatever reason you needed one. And so you took it. And now it's time to press play again. And that right there you go. That's our unjuggle summary of the day. So thanks for being here with me. Thanks for unjuggling this with me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for pressing play again on our dreams and our goals together. And also too, if one of your dreams happens to be just like this desire to explore what building your own purpose-driven business might look like, I will tell you that is definitely not something I paused on. Okay. I'm still very much so full steam ahead, helping people with a step-by-step. It's an e-course and coaching so first we find your purpose-driven business idea. Then we actually validate if it's something that you could monetize and build a profitable business around. And if it is, then I break down the steps that you'll need to actually set up your business on the front end and the behind the scenes and legally. And then I'll teach you how to actually build a brand presence so that the people can buy from you and you can get in front of the people that you are meant to serve. And then I show you actually how to run your business and even transition out of corporate if that's what makes sense for you whenever the timing is right. So if that sounds like something you want to explore, definitely complete the inquiry form in the show notes and we can chat just to see how coaching can walk alongside you as you turn your dreams into reality. And maybe this is your sign to press play again. So, alrighty then. Until next time, bye. Hey, thanks for listening to today's episode. It means the world to me that you're here to ride in the struggle bus with me and that you're willing to consider different perspectives, tools, and techniques that just might provide a little bit of relief and get you one step closer to the abundance that is available and waiting for us all. I hope you take a moment to grant yourself some grace where you've been denying it, some love where you didn't realize maybe it was right in front of you, and some faith where you thought all was lost. If this episode had an impact on you, would you please share a comment with a review? I'd love to hear what landed for you, and it helps us get the word out to our fellow struggle bus riders. So please review what was impactful for you. Just know these episodes are a pure labor of love in a space where I'm growing alongside you. I'm evolving every day, and I look forward to all the ways and the things and the perspectives and opinions and choices that will change over the course of time in my own life, day to day. Until next time, just know that you are loved, you are divinely cared for, and in the struggle, the journey of this life really is beautiful. I'm glad that we're in it together. Cheers.